Saroo and his brother used to climb the train just to steal the coal to exchange for the bags of milk in the market. A young Saroo who has a sugar craving asked his brother if he could buy one, but the brother refused to and said they will buy if they have the money. On his way home, the mother was surprised to have 2 bags of milk, but then, however, she knows that the brothers are stealing so that they could find even a drink at home. The mother of Saroo is working at a construction site, and while working, the brother realized that he needs to work as well to help his mother. Saroo asked his brother if he could come with him, but the brother refused to. But Saroo is very persistent and even insisted that he could carry anything. But then the brother gets Saroo and let him work with him in the train station, wherein they will get a coin or even a food, whatever they could find in the train. Saroo fell asleep on the train. That's why the brother left him at the park. The brother get back to the train and work with himself. Upon waking up, Saroo realized that the brother is not there. He tried to wonder where he is, tried to look back around and think where he is right now. He walks to the subway, kept wondering where he will go and what to do. Saroo then slept again. He was so anxious to jump off the train to go home, but the doors and windows are locked. He shouted and cried, and no one answered. He looked at the window. At the sunset of the shot of trees were retreating. This means that his loving home will be increasingly elusive. Saroo is possibly accepting everything. It wasn't until the night that the train finally stopped in Bangladesh. The stream of people was rolling in. Little Saroo felt desperately so sad. He hustled into the ticket window to give the name of his hometown. He tried to buy the ticket, but none of the local people understand him. They all speak Bangladeshi. A kid who speaks Hindi and has no money, destined to be like speck dust in the air. Saroo became one of the stray children at the train station. In the middle of the night, pedestrians dispersed in the huddle of the corner. A stray child naggled a piece of cardboard. He came forward in silence. This is the bed for the night. It's the greatest goodwill he has ever received. But even with all this misery, some people are having an evil plan. This group of traffickers specialize in abducting and selling street children, taking advantage of lack of pedestrian in the middle of the night. They openly rob people in the railway station. Saroo looked at the cruel scene in front of him and ran for his life. He did everything he could do to find the exit. The police pretended not to see Saroo, and the traffickers followed him. Saroo was able to escape the danger. No food and water in the whole day. At last, Saroo found food at the church at the proper meeting. Saroo was at last able to sleep. But when he has waken up, everything in front of him is still strange. He returned to the station rolling up the paper. Bound. Saroo decided to walk to the railway station, but he didn't even know in which way he will go. Upon walking into the railway, Saroo met a woman who also spoke Hindi the same as him. She offered him a shelter and even a food to eat. At this point, Saroo is very thankful to this woman and told him that tomorrow he will meet a guy. The next day, he met a guy, but then he felt something different. that this guy is not good. Sarah then heard the conversation between the two of them, and Sarah felt that this too has a different intention to him. Given the moment when the woman is not in front of him, he then tried to escape, and Sarah successfully escaped. But then, however, Sarah ended up on the street again, lose his way home, and being a scavenger for such a long time. When he feels so sad, he always thinks of his mother, thinking how happy he was being with his mother during that time. Soon, Sarah met a good man. Sarah watched a man eat. He also pretended to eat. The same man captures his attention and caught by him. So when he understands what's going on, he brought Sarah to the police station immediately. But when Sarah gave the name of his hometown, the police said they never heard of it. So in the end, the police take Sarah to the children's shelter, and the children's shelter provide him a food, and even she attended the classes. It seems like to be a better place living. The next day, Sarah meets the volunteer, Mrs. Sood. Mrs. Sood is committed to helping street children to get back home. She was always concerned about Sarah, but the search was in the paper for a long time. She had to take a second choice. She can only find a new family for Sarah. The Australian couple became near the top choice compared to other people going into the shelter. Sarah naturally looked forward to it, and when he came to this new home, Sarah is finally getting a new life. The new family is good to him. They take care of Sarah. Sarah learned to sail, to swim with his loving and wealthy family. Sarah gradually forgot his hometown, especially when his adopted mother, who quietly shed tears after taking in child who need help. Sarah completely accepted this kind mother 20 years after Sarah was accepted by the University of Melbourne. He's got a girlfriend and had a new life. He seemed to have completely abandoned in the past, but a class reunion, a plate of candy ears, instantly evoked his memory. He wanted to find his home again. But maybe the hometown name in his memory is a mistake. He couldn't find a place anywhere. His friends heard that he remembered the Bangladesh station. So he reminded him to use the passenger train's speed times, the number of hours the train he can find the research studios. Today, mobile phone map software had been well developed. The friend advises him to use and search on the map using the phone. The feeling of homesickness hidden in the bottom of his heart for many years. Shed out in his sleep, he dreamt of his mother. See the mountain, the rocks standing tall. He thought of his mother's difficulty in moving the stone. They barricaded himself in the room, one place after another. Months of searching. There's a lot of negativity on the map. The strong longing for his hometown tormented Sarah's temper. He trusted his brother. His mother must still be struggling to find him from there and here. He was more and more interested of his superior life. So far, his adoptive parent Sarah was at loss to avoid. His mother didn't know why Sarah was estranged from his family. She was unhappy. As the time went on, her mental state was red flag. Saroo was worried about their adopted mother, but right now, he cannot stop. He could not allow himself to give up the idea of finding home. He also wanted to ignore the condition of his mother. Saroo felt sorry about her mom not having her own child, but the words of her mom left him shaking. The mom told him that they could have a child on their own. None of his parents has a problem. But the idea of helping a children who is during the time needs help is a very memorable experience for them both. Selfless word from her mother kept Saroo the courage to hold on. He then looked again to the map, one by one, point by point, to see every radius of his hometown. Soon enough, he remembers everything. The houses, the trees, all the things that his brothers and him usually go. He started with the railway station, and with the consent of his mother, he decided to go back in India. He remembers almost everything, even their old houses, but he was very sad when the old houses was already as a fence for a ship. He cried and even asked himself if still he has a family. At the one side of the street, an old man looked at him, and he even find someone to find his mother. During the meetups, he cried so much, not understanding that they find another and another hug with each other. When Saroo finally identified his mother, he asked for his brother, but the mom says that the brother is already dead the day he went missing. The brother goes back to the railway station where he left Saroo, but then however, the brother was killed by the train. He cried very much and regrets what happened to them. But then however, he got to see his young sisters grow up already. He hugged into tears, and the villagers also rejoiced for what happened. On that same day, he actually informed his adoptive parents the good news of finding his biological mother. And he assured to them that nothing will change, whatever it is. He then go back to the places where his brother and him usually go when they were kids. He can still see the smile of his brother crossing the railway, protecting him during the time. And as the time goes by, this story of him kept nurturing his culture differences. Saroo is now having two families but not two identities. The India and the lives of his family has enriched him culturally and physically. If he never lost, definitely he never been suffered so much of the hardship. However, his experience provides him with unshakable truth with the importance of family and long way of going back home.